Good morning to everyone joining us for today's apprenticeship webinar. I am Lenora M. Daly, Associate Director of Manufacturing Programs for the Institute for Workforce Education, a division of St. Augustine College. I will be your moderator for this webinar, as well as your presenter. Today, we will be discussing the benefits of apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs. Before we begin, let's go over some procedural items. We will be recording this presentation, and I will be sending out a link to all participants to review the recording or share with your colleagues. All of you, with the exception of the presenters, will be put on mute for the duration of the webinar, but you will be able to ask questions or comment using the chat function in Zoom during the Q&A session. I am pleased to introduce our distinguished panelist. Ted Lukowski is the Senior Manager of the Company Outreach for ICAT, the Industry Consortium for Advanced Technical Training. Ted will speak about ICAT's leading apprenticeship programs for high-tech manufacturers and companies with complex technology. Cheryl Morris is the Executive Director of United Here, Chicago Hospitality Institute. She will talk about United Here Local 1, how it supports employees in the hospitality industry in Chicago and Northwest Indiana areas, with the workforce development programs, including apprenticeship. Also joining us is Kathy Wicks, a partner manager for the Center for Career Discovery for High School District 24 in Illinois, and Benjamin Kushner, workforce analyst for ICF. Kathy and Ben will highlight how District 24 provides apprenticeship services to the northwest suburbs of Cook County in the sectors that include health science, automotive technology, construction, IT, and cybersecurity. Craig Schmidt is the Vice President of Talent Development for the Calumet Area Industrial Commission, which is an apprenticeship intermediary with the state of Illinois. Craig will speak about his organization's role as an intermediary and share his organization's experience with the apprenticeship programs. Lastly, I will be providing an overview of apprenticeship programs in Illinois. As I mentioned earlier, I am the Associate Director of Manufacturing Programs for the Institute for Workforce Education, a division of St. Augustine College, and an Apprenticeship Navigator for Region 4 in Northeast Illinois for the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, which provides support for this webinar and other apprenticeship informational initiatives. As I mentioned earlier, after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session. Participants will be able to make comments or ask questions using the chat function in Zoom during the presentation and the Q&A session. If we do not get to your comment or question, we will contact you after the webinar to provide more information. First, a bit of information about St. Augustine College. St. Augustine College is an accredited, independent, not-for-profit college with 4 locations in Chicago and 1 in Aurora. It offers associate, bachelor degrees and is committed to promoting success through education. The Institute for Workforce Education, a division of St. Augustine, is a leading provider of dual language workforce development services in Illinois. It provides customized on-site training to businesses, not-for-profits, and facilitates access to local, state, and federal grants. Employer Training Investment Program, ETIP. St. Augustine College recently partnered with the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce as a pre-qualified workforce training provider for the Chamber's Employer Training Investment Program, ETIP, which reimbursed up to 50% of the cost of retraining or upskilling full-time employees at eligible companies and organizations. The ETIP is designed to assist Illinois employers in providing training to full-time employees, thus increasing capacity, building a stronger workforce, and creating more competitive business climate in Illinois. I'm available to provide more information on this program, which is also funded by the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. I will begin the presentation on apprenticeship programs in Illinois with my role as an apprenticeship navigator with the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The Illinois Apprenticeship Program has been around for 2 years, starting in Cookland South in 2019, now in 2021 in Economic Development Region 4. As an Apprenticeship Navigator, I am available to help you start an apprenticeship program free of charge. We serve as a key point of contact and assist partners throughout the process, from concept to implementation. We support existing or foster new partnerships. The objective of an Apprenticeship Navigator is to expand employer and intermediary program sponsorship in existing and new occupational areas within the region. My colleague Craig Schmidt will expand on the role of intermediaries, which can provide technical assistance and support throughout the whole apprenticeship process. I work as a co-navigator with Kendi Kohler from the Cook County Bureau of Economic Development for the Northeast Economic Development Region 4, which includes the county of Cook, DeKalb, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kankakee, Lake, McHenry, and Will County. For those who are not familiar with apprenticeship programs, apprenticeship is an industry-driven workforce strategy to meet employers' talent needs and to help individuals to a career pathway for many different occupations. It is a work-based learning model, commonly referred to as learn and earn model, where on-the-job training is combined with relevant classroom instruction. There are various types of apprenticeships, including youth apprenticeships, which are generally paid apprenticeships for high school students, pre-apprenticeship, which serves as a bridge into apprenticeship, registered apprenticeships, which are vetted by the U.S. Department of Labor. Non-registered apprenticeships are not registered with the U.S. Department of Labor. Here are key components of a registered apprenticeship. Apprenticeships are jobs. Apprentices earn a competitive wage from their employers during training. Programs provide structured on-the-job learning to prepare for successful careers. Apprentices are provided classroom instruction on critical aspects of their career. Apprentices receive on-the-job learning under instruction of an experienced mentor. Apprentices earn a portable and national recognized credential. Here are some key facts about apprenticeship. Apprenticeships can take between 1 to 5 years. They can be time-based, competency-based, and hybrid. And training and education delivery, as well as the length of the program, can be customized. Participants can get credit for previous experience. Assistance is available to plan and implement existing or new apprenticeships. Pre-apprenticeship programs that serve as a bridge to apprenticeship programs. Youth apprenticeship programs are for individuals generally between the ages of 16 to 14 years of age, in school or out of school youth. Additional benefits to employers. Building a pipeline of skilled workers. It is an opportunity to fill challenging vacancies and maintain institutional knowledge when soon-to-retire workers serve as instructors and mentors. Gain workers with customized skills. Companies have an opportunity to train workers to meet specific standards using the exact piece of equipment, protocols, and procedures. Boost retention. Decrease worker turnover. Apprentices foster worker loyalty and productivity. Apprentices are loyal to the company that invests in them. Save money on wages. Since apprentices begin earning between 40 to 50% less than fully trained employees, businesses can save on money and wages by sponsoring an apprentice. Make a positive return on investment. A study found a financial return on investment averages between around $1.45 earned for every dollar spent on the program. Please note, companies may be eligible for a new apprenticeship education tax credit. Here are some compelling facts about registered apprenticeship programs. They have proven a record of producing strong results for employers and participants. Apprentices have a lifetime earning of average of $300,000 versus others in similar situations with no apprenticeship training. Completers earn an average of $70,000 a year. Employers get a return on investment, as I mentioned earlier, of $1.47 for every dollar spent on apprenticeship. 94% of registered apprentices are employed upon the completion of their apprenticeship. Apprenticeships continue to demonstrate strong growth. 70% growth in apprenticeships since 2011. Key facts: 1.9 million plus new apprentices since 2011. 38% more active apprentices than the previous 10 years, 636,000 versus 459,000 in 2011. 349,000 plus participants completed an apprenticeship in the last 5 years. 13,000 plus apprenticeship programs created in the last 5 years. On this slide, as you can see, there's some compelling facts for the state of Illinois for 2020 for registered apprenticeship. Active apprenticeships in Illinois, 16,783. New apprenticeships, 4,144. Completers in apprenticeship programs, 2,361. We have active apprenticeship programs in Illinois, 486. New apprenticeships developed in 2020, 47. It used to be that most apprenticeship programs were focused in construction and manufacturing, but that's changed. Nowadays, there are apprenticeship programs available across all sectors of the economy, including health, information technology, transportation, financial services, hospitality, energy, communication, and other professional sectors. Here is some information on how to fund a registered apprenticeship program through the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, the workforce system that supports the component of registered apprenticeship programs. On-the-job training, on-the-job learning is funded through a contract. OJT contracts can cover up to one or multiple apprentices. In some circumstances, reimbursement under WIOA has increased between 50 to 75%. Related training and instruction under WIOA and all classroom training is funded through an individual training account known as ITA. In order to take advantage of potential funding, programs must be in the state's eligible training provider list. Supportive services, tools, childcare. WIOA formulas can be utilized to provide a range of supportive services for individual training accounts related to instructional training. On this slide, I would like to share with the following resources. ApprenticeshipIllinois.com, you can find tools, and that could be helpful in learning about and starting and participating in an existing program in Illinois. The U.S. Department of Labor, though it's revamped this website, apprenticeship.gov, has various links where you can get a quick start toolkit, resources for registered apprenticeship programs, and apprenticeship registration sites. Our next panelist, Ted Lukowski, is the Senior Manager of Company Outreach for ICAP, the Industry Consortium for Advanced Technical Training. Ted will speak about ICAP's leading apprenticeship program for high-tech manufacturers and companies with complex technology. Welcome, Ted.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Lenora, for inviting the ICAP Apprenticeship Program for participating in this presentation on apprenticeships. And thank you, St. Augustine College, for hosting this. As Lenora mentioned, we're going to talk about ICAT, which stands for Industry Consortium for Advanced Technical Training. Next slide, please. The reason we're here is in relationship to this slide here. Over the next decade, 2.4 million jobs in manufacturing are going to go unfulfilled. Next slide, please. Some of the key issues I'm seeing for manufacturers in the industry are as follows. One, manufacturers are concerned with an aging workforce and have retirement concerns. Two, they're concerned with skills gap between new and existing employees and the skills gap that are required by the company. Three, manufacturers admit that they're having a difficult time recruiting younger workers to the environment. Pre-COVID-19, a big issue was low unemployment and the inability to find workers on the sideline And if a manufacturer was able to find a worker on the sideline, the manufacturer would pay a higher cost and generally wasn't assured if it was a good cultural fit. After COVID, the big question with manufacturers now are, will workers be coming back to the job? Some workers are staying home to take care of parents and children. Other workers are looking at it that life can be taken from them quickly, and they're deciding that they worked long enough and they want to enjoy life. Those are the big issues I'm seeing in manufacturing today. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. ICAT was designed to help employers build this sustainable pipeline of talent. We do this by focusing to attract more younger people to manufacturing. Our primary outreach efforts are to graduating high school students that are looking for career paths coming out of high school. Our second target market comes from manufacturing companies themselves that are looking to upskill existing employees that have been there for a while, that are great cultural fit, but just generally don't have the skill set. Additionally, we get veterans applying for the positions when they're coming out of the service. And finally, we get career seekers coming into it. ICAT is designed to help companies build a plan which attracts multiple different types of people, primarily younger people, into the manufacturing industry. And by investing in training, companies build employee loyalty. At the end of the ICAT apprenticeship program, companies will receive well-rounded technicians that have been effectively tested and measured on a skill set basis individually. Next slide, please. The ICAT apprenticeship program is an employer-sponsored program. What this means is that the hire and fire decisions rest with the employer, that our employers are expected to provide the on-the-job training that comes along with the apprentice program. Although job shadowing may be a part of all learning experiences, this is really not a job shadowing apprenticeship. This is hands-on learning. Other costs to the employer include paying a reasonable wage for the apprentice while they're working. In the ICAT apprenticeship program, the company is responsible for paying for tuition at a community college partner for our apprentice. And while the apprentice is in school, our apprentices receive a daily stipend. The ICAT apprenticeship program is spread over 3 years, allowing the apprentice to focus more on the on-the-job training while less on the theoretical learning at the community college. The big aspect of this is that they're not a full-time student. They're there to learn, but a lot of the learning occurs with the on-the-job training at the company. We have a 2-year optional commitment to companies to guarantee employment to the apprentice at the end of the program. Most of our companies are implementing that on day one so that they know that they have an employee for 5 years, which helps manufacturers with their turnover rate and keeping that lower. Next slide, please. From a college perspective, what we've done is we've worked to set this program up. We've patterned it after the German apprenticeship model in Germany. We've driven it through the Department of Labor for the core competencies in the United States. And then what we've done is we've worked with our community college partners to align their classes with the core competencies of the Department of Labor for the apprenticeship. Additional things that must happen is candidates must place into the college that's associated with the manufacturer for that apprenticeship that they're dealing with. Our classes start in August, generally around the 15th or 20th. The ICAT apprenticeship program is different from other apprenticeship programs in the fact that it's a part-time program. What I mean by that is that the apprentice will be working part-time and going to school part-time. When the apprentice is at work, they work full-time, 8 hours a day. While they're in school, they focus on school. But the big difference between us and other programs is that an apprentice is not working full-time and going to school at night. Typically with our community college partners, An apprentice will work for 3 days at a company and go to school 2 days. We do have a couple other community college partners that operate slightly different. One is working 4 days and going to school 1 day, and that college, they go year round for 3 years. And then we also work with a community college partner in which apprentices will go to school for 8 weeks and work for 16 weeks. Profiles we offer at ICAT are advanced manufacturing technician, which is the old industrial maintenance, the new modern mechatronics technician, a CNC machining professional. We've also set up an apprenticeship for pharmaceutical companies for pharmaceutical manufacturing technicians. We've recently developed a new apprenticeship called the industrial electronics technician. Technical is wrong up there. I apologize about that typo. And we are always exploring welding and fabrication technicians. In our program, the apprentice will come out earning an associate's degree. They'll pick up a Department of Labor Journeyman certificate, and at the end of our program, they can sit for the International DIHK test. Next slide, please. In our program, it's essential that companies have a trainer paired up with the apprentice. Early in our program, we learned that manufacturers have great skilled technicians, but those people that are generally called to train and mentor the apprentices haven't been trained on how to teach. Realizing this, we created Train the Trainer. Train the Trainer is an in-person 4-day seminar, or since COVID came about, a 4-week, 2-day per week, 90-minute session in which we help trainers learn to communicate and train more effectively. During the class, trainers will learn how to design training plans and training modules. They'll learn how to select the appropriate training method for the attendees, and they'll learn how to evaluate and motivate apprentices and so much more. In our program, ICAT network companies are required to have at least one person, if not more, participate and earn certification in the Train the Trainer. Additionally, training is a generic skill that's required throughout most parts of a corporation. So we have developed what is now called Corporate Train the Trainer. Next slide, please. ICAT is very active and involved in our process. What we do is we help companies and we assist with recruiting. We go out and we do a lot of marketing to high school connections. We participate with community partners in outreach events. We're out there actively promoting this career path, generating interest. So we get a lot of people applying for these career paths. We've also developed the Train the Trainer program, which is essential. In addition to this, we work with companies on customizing training plans. We've set up this whole program through collaboration with our community college partners on the classroom training. And overall, we provide administration and testing services. Next slide, please. Here's just some of the companies that we work with. You may be familiar with them. They may be companies in your county. They may be customers of yours. They may be competitors of yours. Next slide, please. Here are all of our partners that we work with on the ICAT apprenticeship program. There's the Illinois Manufacturers Association and a list of all of our community college partners, not only in Illinois, but we go as far as Minnesota, Wisconsin, over into Nebraska, and to the east of us in Indiana and in Missouri. Next slide, please. Why ICAT? This is a great question. Manufacturers are looking for reasons to looking to connect with the next generation of workers. They're looking to attract younger employees, alleviate retirement concerns, skill gap concerns. They're looking to bring today's technology into the manufacturing process that could be quite old. They're looking for company-specific training plans. And most importantly, they're looking for a solution to build long-term loyal employees through investment in training. One stat that I'd like to share is that the state of Nebraska Department of Labor did a study, and what they found with relationship to apprenticeship program is that 87% of apprentices were still working with their company 6 years after their apprenticeship had ended, which implies that someone has been with a company for 10 years, which is great for morale and turnover rate and consistency. Next slide, please. To learn more about ICAT, please check out our website. If you're interested in having a discussion about this, please reach out to me either via email or by phone. And I'd like to mention a couple things to please keep in mind. October 1st is Manufacturing Day. October is Manufacturing Month. National Apprenticeship Week is generally the second week of November, and International Women's Day is early in March. Please keep these days in mind and help celebrate manufacturing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Now joining us is Cheryl Morris, the Executive Director of United Here, Chicago Hospitality Institute. She will talk about how United Here Local 1 supports employees in hospitality and the hospitality industry in Chicago and the Northwest Indiana area with workforce development programs, including apprenticeship programs. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you, Lenora. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. We're very excited to be a part of this collaboration. Where we are a teaching and training organization, we are also learning the apprenticeship world. So thank you so much for this inclusion. Our apprenticeship program is called Chef de Partie, which in French translates to cook. Unite Here Chicago Hospitality Institute was born out of the Unite Here Local 1 Labor Union in partnership with hotels and food service employers in the Chicagoland area. Our purpose was initially just to look at really upskilling our union employees, our members, but we've also opened up our programming to the general public to also help that population to become upskilled with the intention to turn those people into union members. We have realized over the years that, as a union, that our people tend to have greater benefits by being a part of the union. And we have a very unique set of partnerships that help us to actually really fund our program. It's called the Taft-Hartley Fund. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. So Unite Here Chicago Hospitality Institute is the first of its kind in the state of Illinois to become a registered apprenticeship in the hospitality industry. The uniqueness of our funder is that our employer partners contributes to what's called a Taft-Hartley Training Fund. I think that Ted actually mentioned employers investing in what we would consider professional development. And so that's a part of our partnership. And we consider that a unique investment. And it actually really encourages our members to step into training and to become a part of our work because they see that their employers are investing in them. So we're very happy about that. And we get a chance to upskill our folks and to equip them with skills to be successful in the hospitality industry. Where we have started our journey as a culinary arts program, Unite Here Chicago Hospitality Institute is definitely looking to expand our services and our training into all areas of hospitality, including front of house, back of house, housekeeping. So we're starting in culinary arts, but we're definitely expanding our reach. Next slide. So we're not able to do this work alone, and we're very excited to be in a full-on integrated partnership with Hire 360, the Chicago Federation of Labor. And we have a very deeply integrated partnership with these organizations where we're going after joint funding opportunities. We're looking at future expansion projects and definitely looking at, as we're going forward, we're continuing to deepen our programming and services across the different partnerships. And other partners that we are very proud to be supported by is the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, as well as the Chicago Cook Workforce. What you have in front of you is just kind of a quick snapshot of what our programming looks like. Our program is a very intensive, rigorous 8 weeks of programming. Our students get anywhere from 150 to 200 hours of on-the-job training in our kitchen, or what we call our kitchen lab, essentially. And the intensity of this program starts even before our apprentices are accepted into the program. They actually have to go through what we call kitchen math. And kitchen math, and where that might actually be kind of an interesting thing, kitchen math is necessary because we want our cooks to be able, our apprentices to be able to not only cook for 10, but we want them to be able to cook for 100. And so, you know, they get a chance to actually work in a full-on commercial kitchen here at the McCormick Place. And so we're teaching them kitchen math because we want any chef that's working with them to be able to give them a recipe where they can actually cook for a room of 100 or a room of 500. So that's a prerequisite in order to become a part of our program. We also require our apprentices to take what we call knife skills. And so each one of these sessions are 6 hours. And so they have to come in after they do their application, they do their adult education assessment, and then they also have to come back for the kitchen math and the knife skills sessions. And both of these sessions are 8 or 6 hour long sessions. And next slide, please. So one of the things about our program is we have this 8-week intensive piece to our work, and our students learn kitchen safety and sanitation. They learn culinary terminology, kitchen equipment and knife skills. We also actually provide our apprentices with a knife set. They learn poultry and fish fabrication. They learn the mother sauces and banquet preparation. Our students walk away with their Serve Safe certification and the American Hotel. Thank you. And then they also test for the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute certification. And they don't actually transition. They don't actually get their full-on certifications until they complete their on-the-job training. When they become a journey worker is when they receive the certification from United Here Chicago Hospitality Institute and the U.S. Department of Labor Registered Apprenticeship certification. Another big thing that we think is important for people to understand is that we are a competency-based program, not hours, although we do expect our apprentices to complete 1,000 hours of on-the-job training. And we have 2 points where we actually go in and do an assessment in partnership with our employer partners, one at 500 hours and then another one at 1,000 hours. So we consider this cooking while learning. As I said, the rigor begins before acceptance into the program. And we are looking for students that are committed and consistent. And so there are 6 different points of entry before students are even accepted into our program. We have the application, we have the adult education assessment, and then we have an in-person interview after the application, the kitchen math, knife skills, and then a final interview with our chefs. So there's a rigorous process to get into the program in general, but it's because we really want our trainees to understand that to get into this work, it requires that level of commitment. Next slide. Thank you. So this is a sample of week 5 of our training program of our syllabus. As you'll see here, by the time that they're in week 5, they've already started learning how to fabricate meats and poultry. And one of the things that they're actually learning is steak au poivre. And then one of the other things, if you'll notice, on Wednesdays here on our syllabus, we have them to sit for their certification for the IWE exam, but we've also added in, and this is not something that we had in before, but I thought it was really important to add this into our curriculum because we're coming out of a pandemic. And we know that people need to get back to some sense of normalcy as it relates to their finances. So we're now bringing in partnership with Hire 360, a session on finance. And we're also going to be working with the Chicago Federation of Labor to work with resumes and mock interviews. So that's something new. So the first 4 weeks of our programming, the students are not in session on Wednesdays. But starting in week 5, we're actually bringing them in on Wednesdays for some enhancements. And so we think that there's a lot of value to getting our people up to speed there. One of the other things that we're really excited about is our fish and seafood component of that week. So, it's the program is very rich. It can be a very expensive program as well. But we know that with the training and the skills that we're bringing into our trainees, that they're going to be really set up to be successful. Some of our cooks are considered cook ones. Some of them are just prep cooks. But with the experience that they take away from our training, they will be able to go in and work at some 5-star hotels and other high-level kitchens. Next slide. So our chefs bring 50 years of combined instruction talent here. Chef David Oland has 30 years experience. He taught at the French Culinary Institute of America, and he also taught at Kendall College here in Chicago. Chef David had his own restaurant called Dave's French Country Bistro in Naperville. Chef Victor Martinez is our assistant instructor, and he has 20 years of experience in culinary arts. And he was the executive sous chef at the Drake Hotel and also at the Hilton in Northbrook. Next slide. What I'm sharing with you are just a few of the amazing dishes that our apprentices learn to do and can actually duplicate as needed. So this is mussels with smoked paprika butter, and it was amazing. Just so you know, I tried it. Next slide. New York strip with bordelaise sauce. So all of these things are prepared by our students. And we actually have a buffet in week 7 of our apprenticeship as we're closing out. So we had an amazing spread prepared by our apprentices. And it's an opportunity for us to allow them to see what it would actually look like to be a buffet cook. Next slide. And this is called chicken a la Mayon. And so our chefs are teaching our apprentices how not to just cook, but how to also plate and how to be prepared to work in very high-end kitchens. And our goal is to give our people not just training, but confidence to be able to move up and grow within their companies. So we have some people that have been called back to work already. We have now been receiving calls from different partners that are looking for cooks. And we have found that there is a cook shortage in Illinois. And so we're just really excited to have been able to roll out our program at this time. And we're ready. We're just getting people ready. And we've opened this up again, as I mentioned, to the general public. So please feel free to reach out to me. I'm sorry, I did not think to do a slide with my information on it. But if you need to contact me, please reach out to Lenora and she can get me your information. And I'm more than happy to talk to you and share our flyer, and you can send people our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Wonderful presentation. Love the food. Our next presenter is Kathy Wicks, a partner manager for the Center for Career Discovery for High School District 214 in Illinois, and Benjamin Kushner, workforce analyst for ICF. Kathy and Ben will highlight now District 214 provides apprenticeship services to northwest suburbs of Cook County in the sectors including health sciences, automotive technology, construction, and IT cybersecurity. Welcome, Kathy and Ben.
Thank you, Lenora, so much for having us. We're excited to be here and share our apprenticeship model with the group. So thank you for that. Our model does include registered and youth apprenticeship opportunities for high school students. And I'd like to have Ben introduce the slide next.
And I work for ICF, we are a federal contractor to the U.S. Department of Labor. Our program is called Cybersecurity Youth Apprenticeship Initiative, and we teamed up with D214 to promote registered apprenticeships in cybersecurity for youth. Our website is cyai2024.org. Let's watch a very brief video from an actual high school graduate of our apprenticeship program who is now employed as a cybersecurity supervisor at the district.
Hello, I'm Robert Voss. I'm the current cybersecurity supervisor for District 214. I was part of the first cohort of apprentices taken in by the district, and I currently go to Harper College with hopes of advancing to a university to get a degree in cybersecurity. Overall, becoming a registered apprentice with the district gave me was just this great experience getting an idea of what it's like to work in a professional workplace, earning wages, and then also getting extra knowledge and professional experience within a career that I see myself working in the future. The two courses that that stick out a lot that I took as an apprentice were Security Plus, which was just a course walkthrough that would train me to take the Security Plus exam for CompTIA, and the Certified Ethical Hacker class for the CEH certification. After going through this apprenticeship, the apprentices definitely have skills to work in other sectors other than district or school education related areas. The skills that they learn here can be applied to just about like so we have IT generalists in cybersecurity. That's not specifically aimed at schools or education sector. It can be applied to just about any other job that they might have in IT. Now that I am a supervisor of the current cohort of apprentices, I see them bringing a real great value towards the department. They have really new and fresh ideas that we may not have thought of. They have different angles, and they also help us with a lot of tasks that would have taken hours to just do by ourselves.
Okay, so here on this slide, we heard most of these facts before, so I just want to review it quickly. Apprenticeship is an earn and learn employment model. It is employment, which means that the apprentice is hired and is trained on the job and in a classroom. A key point to address the concerns of employers. The employer is in full control and makes all the decisions. They hire, they promote, and they approve wage increases. Ordinarily, it's difficult to create a program from scratch, and there's no need to do that with our program because a model already exists. We always encourage employers to work off the models that are on the shelf, and employers can make minimal changes to customize the model to their needs. So youth apprenticeships are created for younger workers with little or no professional experience. In general, it's ages 16 to 21, and the related technical instruction, or RTI, or classroom instruction can occur during the school day. Like other apprenticeships, the on-the-job skills are learned during practice under the supervision of a mentor. The structure of an apprenticeship program can be based on the number of hours of training or on the competencies mastered, or a hybrid of both. Youth apprenticeships for high school students usually require them to have a flexible schedule in the senior year to cover classroom training, other coursework, and their employment. It's a flexible model that does not lock in a student to a career pathway. Instead, it opens up career pathway opportunities while providing hands-on experience with employers' demands. Next slide. So as with most workforce training and education, the skills taught fall into two categories: technical skills and employability skills. We used to call these skills hard skills and soft skills. So we listed a few examples on this slide. We could provide you with a full range of skills for cybersecurity apprenticeship if you're interested. Earlier, we talked about pre-apprenticeship programs. Pre-apprenticeship programs are designed to focus on the employability skills or the work readiness skills. Registered apprenticeship programs focus on the technical skills and the employability skills. Next slide.
Thanks, Ben. High School District 214 is the largest high school district located in the state of Illinois, and we're in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And our high schools include the following: Buffalo Grove, Elk Grove, John Hersey, Rolling Meadows, Prospect, the specialized schools, and Wheeling High School. Dr. Dave Schuler, the 2018 National Superintendent of the Year, was a leading force in the Redefining Ready movement. This work transformed traditional high schools into career pathway models where students have the opportunity to take introductory courses to dual credit to capstone experiences that are aligned with their career interests. Work-based learning, such as embedded experiential learning, career treks, internships, and apprenticeships, are innovative initiatives that set our students up for success. Next slide, please. D214 began the Apprenticeship Initiative in 2019. It was created by our Associate Superintendent, Dr. Laz Lopez. D214 already had a robust internship program that was administered by the Center for Career Discovery. The goal for the apprenticeship program was to develop an opportunity for our students who needed a job to help supplement their family income. Our district has an approximate 25% rate of poverty within our boundaries. This group of students were not participating in the unpaid internship program, which usually occurs after school, because they needed to work. The newly developed apprenticeship model would encompass an earn and learn opportunity with release time during the day and a springboard into a viable career. As you can see by our growth, there was intentional development and a variety of opportunities for students in various career sectors. Today, we'll focus on our cybersecurity registered apprenticeship. So who are our student applicants? Our applicants are open, our application is open to juniors ages 16 and 17. Students are encouraged to apply through their teachers and counselors for this opportunity. We also facilitate recruiting efforts directed to students in a particular pathway or in certain clubs like Cyber Patriot. These students are typically ideal candidates. Our applicants are screened for attendance, behavior, commitment to the career pathway, and alignment to post-secondary goals. Communication and maturity are important attributes that we look for during the interview process. Next slide, please. Students in the IT pathway can be duly enrolled in high school and earning college credit. At the same time, the curriculum is aligned with nationally recognized professional certificates that students can earn. In many cases, our high school teachers are adjunct faculty and they deliver the coursework content. Some employer feedback indicates preference to hire high school apprentices from D214 compared to older adult career changers or other applicants. Next slide, please. This is a typical schedule for our cybersecurity apprentice. The schedules are custom built to accommodate the apprentice and the graduation requirements. Of course, we want them to graduate high school, so typically math and English are included. Most students have weekend and evenings off for extracurricular and social activities when they're employed by our district. But schedules could easily accommodate alternate work environments for other employer needs. Students are enrolled who are enrolled in the cybersecurity registered apprenticeship take this particular sequence of coursework from Moraine Valley Community College. As a benefit to our students and employers, the college tuition is paid for directly by D214. Next slide, please. So the cybersecurity job description is kind of outlaid on this slide. And really the role of the cybersecurity is to support and protect the organization's informational and data, so it's secure and safe. This job description is applicable to any employer in various industries. These are basic generic tasks that can be performed in any sector, not just in a school district. Next slide, please. Our apprenticeship program is competency-based with a suggested OJT of 1,200 hours. The specific list of competencies provides a framework of skill and knowledge provided in the apprenticeship training itself. Next slide, please. So our school district is not the only employer who's concerned about cybersecurity, and we're ready to expand our efforts and are collaborating with DCEO, Urban Institute, and CYAI to assist in identifying companies who would like to partner with us, D214, and our Registered Apprenticeship Initiative for Cybersecurity, IT Generalist, or actually any of our apprentice opportunities for students. Next slide, please.
So where can our students work outside the school district? Here, we're asking you to consider hiring D214 students for a work site that is outside the school district. What do we mean by that? Our students are prepared to work for any employer interested in protecting and securing data and intellectual property. When we usually think of cybersecurity, we think of managed security service providers, or MSSPs, such as Symantec, Cypher, SecureWorks, BAE Systems, etc. But cybersecurity also touches other industries and sectors. Next slide.
Please contact us. We're interested in helping you address the challenges that you might face when implementing an apprenticeship model. We're here to help you, and we look forward to talking with you soon. If you know an employer partner who's interested in this or anything that we've talked about, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Ben. We'd love to give you some more information and help you support work-based learning and opportunities for high school students. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy and Ben, and High School District 214. A wonderful presentation. Thank you guys for being here today. Now let's welcome our next presenter. Craig Schmidt is currently the Vice President of Talent Development at the Calumet Area Industrial Commission. He supports apprenticeship expansion grants from the U.S. Department of Labor as an intermediary in Region 4. He has worked in workforce development most of his career and apprenticeship programs for the last 7 years. He's written, implemented, and led millions of dollars of grants over the years focused on recruiting, training individuals on high-demand careers of manufacturing, transportation, healthcare, and IT. He will present on his organization's role as an apprenticeship intermediary. Welcome, Craig.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And Lenora, thank you very much, and St. Augustine for inviting the Calumet Area Industrial Commission to talk about our role as an intermediary for the apprenticeship program with the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. I just want to start a little bit with just telling you a little bit about the Calumet Area Industrial Commission, or CAIC for short. We've been in existence since 1967. Next slide, please. We are a non-for-profit membership-based organization. We're located in the southern tip of the city of Chicago in the Pullman area, right in the hub of the manufacturing industry from metropolitan Chicago to Northwest Indiana. And over the years, we've expanded to include many of the south suburbs and even moved into Will County, all of which has a huge manufacturing base. As you can see, we're an industrial advocacy, economic development, business development, workforce development, and community outreach organization, mainly focused on the manufacturing sector. We do provide a number of community resources that are funded under the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, which is funded under the Workforce Innovation Act, Innovation and Opportunity Act, also known as WIOA. We provide the services from job readiness training to on-the-job training and job placement, again, for individuals who are unemployed or underemployed to help them find a sustaining wage and career. We do offer a number of business resources, from business development incentives to training reimbursement, apprenticeship guidance, which I'll talk about, and certainly a huge value for our members are the networking events and educational workshops that we hold. So the programs I'm going to tell you about today is one, it is our role as an intermediary. CAIC was awarded an apprenticeship expansion grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. It's with the goal to start, reignite, grow apprenticeship programs. We play that consultant role to help a company get started and guide them through the process. What I'm seeing most is companies have some sort of apprenticeship program in place. It just may need some refining, and we can help submit that to the Illinois Department of Labor to help get that registered. The grant that we have will currently pay the education portion or the tuition for anyone in a registered apprenticeship program, whether it's through a community college or another training provider. It can be in any industry. It can be for new or current employees. Some companies use apprenticeships as an onboarding tool, meaning they start as an apprentice the day they start working. Other companies use it as a kind of a promotional tool to move individuals up into the company and train them for certain occupations. As I said, the goal is for one to be skilled in a occupation, such as a welder, machine operator, a diesel mechanic. You're training for that occupation. Apprenticeships workers, it also achieves them in obtaining that journeyman card. And then most importantly, you're creating a long-term training solution for your company because you're gaining that commitment from the employees in the process. The time for this grant right now is now through December, so you don't want to hesitate. If you're interested in hearing more about the funding available, please reach out to me. The other funding source I want to talk about is through the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. We are a delegate agency that offers on-the-job training reimbursement. So if an employer hires an unemployed or underemployed individual, the grant can reimburse that employer for those wages, up to 50% of those wages that were paid during that training. Could be up to 90 days. There's a few requirements, and as you can see there. But if interested, please reach out. I think we have we do help companies find employees as well. The challenge we have is the same as everyone else right now, is finding candidates, skilled candidates. But the CAIC, we're certainly putting some resources around that to improve those numbers. One of the things, and I don't have a slide on this, but I do just want to mention that, CAIC was also awarded an $8.9 million grant from the U.S. Department of Labor, where we partnered with 10 community colleges in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana regions. And the goal is to train over 1,100 individuals in a manufacturing career over the next 4 years. So that grant, over $6 million of that will pay for tuition, books, and fees for one of them, for an individual at one of our partner colleges. So we certainly plan on that being a pipeline for individuals to help at least put a little dent into the need that is out there. So we are in heavy recruitment right now for that, for fall classes. But again, if you're interested in hearing about that, how you can participate as an individual or even an employer, please reach out to me. Lenora, thank you again so much. And I'm going to turn this back over to you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, we will now start the Q&A session. Participants can make comments or ask questions using the chat function in Zoom. If we do not get your question or comment, we will contact you after the webinar to provide more information. I'm going to scroll down. I have a question for you, Ted.
Yes.
Are ICAT programs or apprenticeship programs only for large companies?
No, they are for companies of all sizes. We recently signed a new company that only has 6 employees, and we also have another new company that has 3,000.
Okay.
So it's for companies of all sizes, as manufacturers, both small, medium, and large, have the same. There's a lack of skilled workers out there, and they have to find a different way of attracting workers to their company.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ted. This is just a general question to all of our panelists. How do I register for apprenticeship programs discussed in this webinar? I'm going to go ahead and start with United here. We talked a little bit, Cheryl, if you guys, is it something posted on your website?
Well, we actually have what we call an interest form on our Facebook page, because we're still so new in the business, we are actually taking information by way of our Facebook page. We're still working on developing our website. But people can definitely find us at Unite Here Chicago Hospitality Institute on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram. And you can complete the JOT form there, and then we are really good about getting back to people within 24 hours.
Thank you. I'm going to pivot back to Ted. Ted, you mentioned some apprenticeship programs in the local area. Is there a way for folks to register for an ICAT apprenticeship program with some of the companies?
Yeah, sure. If a company's interested, they can reach out to me personally, either via phone or email. It was on the back of the slide. And if it's high school youth or an interested party in apprenticeships, they can go to our website to register, and that's www.icatapprenticeships.com.
Thank you. I'm going to pivot over to Craig with our Calumet Area Industrial Commission. How would someone would go about getting involved in the apprenticeship program and your local area?
Reach out to us. There's a number of companies that have apprenticeship programs in place, and the companies are hiring right now. I would also recommend reaching out to some of the local community colleges that have sponsored programs and connections with the employers as well.
Okay. Kathy and Ben, I have a question for you. Thanks, Greg. We're looking at, this is from a participant, we're looking into a high school apprenticeship program. And how can we start? That's just, how do we get started with a high school apprenticeship program, such as 214's model?
So do you know if this is a high school asking the question? Or
yes,
okay,
it is a high school.
Call me or email me. There's lots of steps, but I'm happy to share our journey with you. It really takes a team effort to launch something like this. Efforts within your own high school itself, administration, and the buy-in of that, and then also connecting with employers in your community to support the program. And I'm happy to share that with you. Feel free to give me a call or email. We can set something up.
And I want to add a plug for contacting Lenora. It's unusual to have such a competent navigator. The job of a navigator is to help develop these programs. So I hate to give you extra work, Lenora, but
no, that's my job, Ben. That's my job.
Nice.
And so on. You know what? I'm going to direct the question back to you and Kathy and Ben. Can I hire a 17-year-old in my apprenticeship program?
So my answer would be yes, most of the time. I don't know what your main concern would be. If it's an insurance concern, we have had that with manufacturers and some other things. We have some workarounds with that, but yes, high school students are capable of working. If it is a liability insurance, you want to check with your agent. And again, we do have some workarounds that we found for our employers as well.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for answering that. This is a general question for all of our panelists. Aside for the funding for apprenticeships programs, can you explain on other support services available for apprenticeship? Earlier on in the presentation, I mentioned a little bit about tax credits available for companies that actually develop apprenticeship programs that are in the state of Illinois for a $3,500 tax credit, as well as if you hire a vet, it's an additional $1,500. But then you look at underserved areas, there's an additional $1,500 tax credit for underserved areas for apprenticeship as well. Did anyone on the panel want to kind of elaborate about other available funding? I know, Craig, you mentioned assistance from the Calumet area with on-the-job training for apprenticeship. You also talked a little bit with the collaboration for the that you have with the Cook County Workforce Board here in the area. Does anybody want to talk a little bit about that to leverage any funding?
Let me just quickly say something about this. I'm located in California, but I happen to know about many of the Illinois programs. Illinois is very strong on supporting populations that have difficulty finding work. So aside from the ones that you mentioned, people on public assistance, I would also add people who are re-entering the community after being incarcerated. There are tax credits, there are bonding programs. Illinois is very supportive of reemployment and employment. What I would recommend is that you contact the local Department of Labor or the local workforce development program. What are the career centers called? The one-stops? Are they all
American
Illinois
Job
work?
Centers.
Job
American
Center.
Job Centers.
Contact the local job center and ask, what support can I get from WIOA to employ certain populations or to help me?
Okay. Thank you, Ben. That was very great. Do we have any more in the chat? Looks like we are going to go ahead and complete our webinar today. I wanted to say to everybody, this concludes the webinar. My contact information is on the screen for everyone who needs further information or assistance in setting up or supporting an apprenticeship or pre-apprenticeship program. I'm also available to meet, whether in person or virtually, to discuss apprenticeship opportunities and needs that your companies may have. Please note that St. Augustine's 12-part apprenticeship webinar series for Y 2021 will be checked out. You can check it out on our website at iwetraining.com. I also would like to thank our panelists today, our participants, and please note I will be sending out a direct link for you to view the recorded webinar today. Again, I would like to thank all of our panelists, our participants, and their support of U.S. Department of Labor's apprenticeship efforts in Illinois. On behalf of St. Augustine, I would like to wish everyone a safe and wonderful 4th of July, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the future events to booster apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs in Illinois. Thank you, panelists, and everybody, thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.